Hey everybody, it's Everett back here from Hood Time Welding. Freaking cold. We had a nice week or two there, and now it's come back. We got snow outside again, and it's just chilling the shop. Makes it a little bit hard for me wanting to get out here and get working on some of these projects, but I'm out here. I'm working. So the project we're going to be working on today is a trailer you guys have seen in here before. Anyways, sorry. I'm trying to get the screen to flip, and it was being a pain in the butt. Anyways, you guys have seen this trailer in here before. We extended the end here. We mounted the grill there, that barrel. I didn't actually tape when I made these racks, but those racks originally were for one type of grilling, and then the customer was going to have some different ones made for when they did chicken. But for some reason, the other racks fell through with whoever was going to make them for them, and they didn't get made. So on these ones, you can see the rebar here is up above. And before it wasn't going to matter, but we have to redesign these ones. The customer, like I said, the other ones fell through. So what we talked about it, we decided we're going to make these ones multi-use. So we've got to retrofit these ones a little bit so they'll do both regular grilling and be able to do the chicken. So to be able to do the chicken, you got to be able to flip it. So to be able to flip it, first we do have to make one more extra grill, screen, and then we're actually going to move the rebar to the side, put handles on all four corners sticking out, and then you can put the new one, another one on top, and I'll show you the design I came up with for locking them together so that you can flip these and then move on to the next one and flip the next one and that. But yeah, like I said, I had to come up with a little bit of a redesign because originally these were just for one thing, but now we're going to make it for two things, so they're a little bit of a dual purpose. The other thing we're going to do on this trailer is, you can see we've got some fenders there. But these fenders, as you can see, are way large for this size trailer. So I talked to the customer and said, hey, do you mind if I cut these new fenders out, or cut these fenders down to a more reasonable size for this size trailer? And he was totally fine with that. He did talk to me and said he's going to move up one size and wheel. Sounds like the snow is trying to move up on the roof there. But anyways, even with going up another size tire rim, still plenty of room with what I was figuring to cut them down to. So we'll get the grates fixed up, get those remade, and get the new one made, so we have four. We'll get that one done first, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the fender. But yeah, that's what we got for today, so let's go ahead and get started. So as you saw, I got the handles that I'd already put on taken off and cleaned up where they were at. And then I went ahead and just cut the frame for the second one, or for the fourth one, and just got that welded, so that one's done. So then we can move on to the last step, which you just saw me tacking the rebar on. The reason I have them flat like I do, or how I did it, was so I was thinking if you're only sitting on the edges of the angle, I don't know how well it's going to line up, so I figured we'd actually use the rebar in the corners to sort of make it so it sits on, you know, these are nice and tight together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a piece to slide onto these, so you can slide one on all four corners and to lock it. And then that way you can flip it over, pull that piece back off, and move on to the next one. But yeah, I was afraid the surface of the angle there wasn't going to be enough edge to sit on, and they weren't going to sit very well. So I was thinking I was going to have to put something in the corner, but then I got thinking about it. If I put the rebar flush with the top, that gives it somewhere to, that gives it more surface area for the two of them to mate up. So yeah, it looks like that's going to work. So we'll get these welded out. You know, these two we're already done with, other than we just have to weld these two out. So we'll get these two welded out, and then we'll fit up the last two, and then we'll make that piece that'll slide onto each one of these rebar to hold them together while you're flipping it. So I think that's going to work out well. So let's continue. So guys, I got this finished up, or at least the grates and the little handle things. I don't know exactly where I cut off yesterday, so sorry about that, but I just noticed my camera was out, and I'm like, oh crap, where did that stop? But either way, the grates here are finished up. We've got these nice little handles. What I did was just take a piece of 1x1 tubing, cut it down some, and then put some flat stock on it. That way these can slide on. What it'll do, the biggest thing we're worried about it doing is just keeping these together. So when we flip it, you can flip it one-handed, and the two racks stay together. They don't have to be perfectly together, but just so that no chicken can slip out and stuff like that. So that's the big thing, was just getting it so somebody could flip these by themselves and not have to worry about the alignment getting too far off and then the chickens falling out. So other than just cleaning these up, we're just going to take it on the bench grinder and knock it down, just smooth it off. These are all done. So the rack portion of this is done. So the next portion we're going to be setting up for is we're going to start working on the fenders figuring out how much we have to cut off, get the inside welded on, and then mount it up for both. So let's continue. Now that I jumped around a little bit, you know, I made those pieces and then started working on the fenders. I think I forgot to turn you guys back on for when I cut them down. I actually didn't cut them down. I was thinking about cutting them down about 7 inches, but then if I would have done 7, the inner piece, this piece right here, I would have had to cut that down. So those were at, with those in, it cuts it down 4 3/8 of an inch. So a little bit less than what I wanted, but it still cuts it down so it's a little more shape-wise, it fits on the trailer a little better. So we're going to go ahead and get those mounted. I'll only show you guys the one side because this video is probably getting sort of long. The one thing I did add on, you guys might not have noticed, is I made this pin. And what that is for those pieces to slide onto. And I'm going to weld this to the front of the grill so that way they don't lose these pieces. I was just trying to think of something where I could put this on, or some way to hold on to these so, you know, when they're not using it, they can just pop them onto this. So this end, so the end without the pin will be welded onto it, and then they pop right down onto here. You put the safety pin in, and that way they don't lose these slide-on pieces. It's just something a little extra I added. I was thinking about, and I just got in the middle of, I just got sort of jumped around a little bit there, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, we're going to go ahead and get these mounted up and welded on, and that should be it for the trailer for right now. That's all we've got for right now. I know he's talked about doing more stuff to it, but this is where he wants it for the moment. So we'll get these on, get it back to him. I know they're talking about they're going to be doing a fundraiser, so he'll end up having to use the trailer soon. Maybe after that, after they make some money from that, they'll have me do some more. I'm not sure. So either way, let's get working on these fenders, get them on, and get them mounted so it's all done. there you go. Fenders are all mounted. They're on there pretty good and sturdy. The whole thing shakes when you shake it. Full welds on the end, skip across the side there. This is that thing I was talking about to hold these. That way they don't get lost. But yeah, I was just gonna walk around and you can see other fenders the same. Like I said, the guy's thinking about going up the next size of tire, and I think he's got plenty of room to do that. So no problems there. They're nice and solid. I think they look pretty good. Got them evened up pretty nice and everything like that. So like I said, we got some work. Might have some more on this trailer. I'm not sure exactly everything he wants to do on it, but for right now, that's done for where he wants it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Big thumbs up as always if you like it. Any comments, questions, concerns, just saying hi. I always appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.